Thank Jesus for me. He has done that which no man can do. So welcome everybody. Thank Jesus for me. He has opened up the door. There is nothing you cannot do. Protocol breaker. There is nothing you cannot do. Jehovah do. I have just I have seen your mighty works. Mountain over my lover, my remember. There is nothing you cannot do. Protocol breaker. There is nothing you cannot do. Jehovah do. I have tasted of your love. I have seen your mighty works. Mountain over my lover, my remember. You said that I'm the one you have been looking for, and then you changed my name more. You wiped away my tears, oh, and you overwhelmed me. This love is too much. Hey, what can I say? I love beyond name. So welcome everybody. Thank Jesus for me. He has done that which no man can do. So welcome everybody. Thank Jesus for me. He has opened up the door. There is nothing you cannot do. Protocol breaker. There is nothing you cannot do. Jehovah do. I have tasted of your love. I have seen your mighty works. Mountain over my lover, my remember. Hey, there is nothing you cannot do. Protocol breaker. There is nothing you cannot do. Jehovah do. I have tasted of your love. I have seen your mighty works. Mountain over my lover, my remember. I have tasted of your love. I have seen your mighty works. Mountain over my lover, my remember. There is nothing you cannot do. Protocol breaker. There is nothing you cannot do. Jehovah do. I have tasted of your love. I have seen your mighty works. Mountain over my lover, my remember. There is nothing you cannot do. Protocol breaker. There is nothing you cannot do. Jehovah do. I have tasted of your love. I have seen your mighty works. Mountain over my lover, my remember. You found me worthy. I heard you call my name, and then you showed me love. You filled my heart with joy. Oh, you take my heart, I give it to you. It belongs to you. You have taken over me. So welcome everybody. Thank Jesus for me. He has done that which no man can do. Thank Jesus for me. He has opened up the door. There is nothing you cannot do. Protocol breaker. Jehovah, I have tested of the Lord. I have seen your mighty word. Mountain over my lover, no my name. There is nothing you cannot do. Protocol breaker. There is nothing you cannot do. Jehovah, I have tested of the Lord. I have seen your mighty word. Mountain over my lover, no my name. You said that I'm the one you have been looking for, and then you changed my name. You wipe away my tears, and you overwhelm me. This love is too much. What can I say? I love beyond that. So come everybody. Thank Jesus for me. He has done that which no man can do.
Hi, Dr.
So come everybody. Thank Jesus for me. He has opened up the door. There is nothing you cannot do. Protocol breaker. There is nothing you cannot do. Jehovah, I have tested of the Lord. I have seen your mighty works. Mountain over my lover, no my name. Hey, there is nothing you cannot do. Protocol breaker. There is nothing you cannot do. Jehovah, I have tested of the Lord. I have seen your mighty works. Mountain over my lover, no my name.
Professor Folabi, how are you? Welcome. Welcome, sir. Okay, guys, we're starting in just a minute. Just one more round of the song and we start. Want you to dance it. Professor Emmy, welcome. A-Health, welcome. Gerald, welcome. Linda Tosen, welcome.
There is nothing you cannot do.
Protocol breaker.
There is nothing you cannot do. Jehovah, I have tested of the Lord. I have seen your mighty works. Mountain over my lover, no my name. There is nothing you cannot do. Protocol breaker. There is nothing you cannot do. Jehovah, I have tested of the Lord. I have seen your mighty works. Mountain over my lover, no my name. You found me worthy. I heard you call my name, and then you showed me love. You filled my heart with joy. Oh, you take my heart, I give it to you. It belongs to you. You have taken over me. So come everybody. Thank Jesus for me. He has done that which no man can do. So come everybody. Thank Jesus for me. He has opened up the door. There is nothing you cannot do. Protocol breaker. There is nothing you cannot do. Jehovah, I am fishing of the Lord. I have seen your mighty works. Mountain over my love, you're my name. There is nothing you cannot do. Protocol breaker. There is nothing you cannot do. Jehovah, I have tasted of the Lord. I have seen your mighty works. Mountain over my love, you're my name. You said that I'm the one you have been looking for, and then you changed my name. You wiped away my tears, and you overwhelmed me. This love is too much. Hey, what can I say? I love beyond me. Surround come everybody. Thank Jesus for me. He has done that which no man can do. Surround come everybody. Thank Jesus for me. He has opened up the door. There is nothing you cannot do. Protocol breaker. There is nothing you cannot do. Jehovah, I have tasted of the Lord. I have seen your mighty works. Mountain over my love, you're my living man. Hey, there is nothing you cannot do. Protocol breaker. There is nothing you cannot do. Jehovah, I have tasted of your love. I have seen your mighty works. Mountain over my love, you're my living man.
Welcome, guys. Thank you very much for coming. So let's start immediately. We have long day. Thank you, Afolabi, my friend. Thank you so much. Yeah. So, when you come in, please introduce yourself so that we're able to know who you are. So, if you're hearing me, please use the chat box and write in yes. If you are hearing me, write in yes on the chat box. Say yes if you're hearing me on the chat box very quickly so that we can start. If you're hearing me, write in yes. Look at, are you hearing me? Joshua, are you hearing me? Emeka, are you hearing me? Yes. Hindatu, are you hearing me? eHealth, Gerald, are you hearing me? Yes, quickly. Right? Yes, if you're hearing me, so I can go ahead immediately. I want to be sure you are hearing me. If you're hearing me, write in yes in the chat box quickly. Okay, thank you. Emeka said he's hearing me, so I think you can go ahead. Yeah, Israel, yes. Okay, Israel, please guide me, yeah, so that I'll be able to know when they're hearing me and not when they're not hearing me. Thank you, Gideon. Okay, thank you, guys. Welcome. My name is Kali Cousins. There's no, I don't want so much protocol, so let's go ahead with our lectures right away with a conference. Thank you. Why am I doing this? I'm doing this because of purpose. Today we are working on purpose. This is Success Algorithm Conference. Welcome. So we are working on purpose discovery for impact and income. Purpose discovery for impact and income. If I ask you, what is your purpose on earth? You are going to understand the importance of what we are doing today. You're going to find out that to describe, to actually say what your purpose is a very daunting task. Very, very daunting. But let's try to work around it. So, what is purpose? Now, purpose is the reason for your existence. Purpose is the reason for your existence. That is purpose. Okay? Reasons for your existence. Okay, if I can have somebody who is writing these things down. Yes, Israel, Joshua, I want you to write these things down as I say them. So, purpose is the reason for your existence. Purpose is the why and the what. Why are you here? What are you doing here? That is purpose. Purpose is so important for me that if you're my friend, you will hear purpose a million times every day. Because if you discover purpose, every other thing will go seamlessly. You know, I make money sitting down without, running around because, yes, I'm physically challenged. So, really, running around is an issue. So, how can I, yeah, live a beautiful life if not through discovery of purpose? So, purpose is the reason for your existence, is the why for your existence. Why is a very deep Why is a very deep subject. Why is the consummation? Why is the major, substance of your existence? Why are you here? Immediately you start understanding your why, something starts to happen in your life. What happens? What happens is that there are things you start being oblivious to. In my own personal life, there are things I don't pursue anymore. There are things I'm not interested. It may, you may, you know, you may want to know that I don't care what happens on television. I don't really know what happens on social media. I don't understand what happens in a lot of places because the only reason I'm here is how can I help people discover their purpose and make impact and make income from that purpose. That's the only thing I'm interested in. So immediately something is not tying up to that, is not adding up to that. I'm not interested. So what is your own purpose? By tomorrow, I will show you graphically, questions, about 25 questions we're going to ask for you to answer them, and then you discover your purpose. Now, a lot of people are going to be asking, what is this evasive and elusive purpose? This purpose that you can't touch, this purpose that it seems you cannot even know what it is. What is this purpose? What is the proof that we have purpose? Now, I'm going to give just three proofs. The first one is what I call your genetic combination. Yes, Afalabi, do you know that no other person on earth has the same fingerprint like you? Now, no other person on earth will have the same fingerprint after you. What does it mean? It means that the guy who made you sat down and coded you in such a way that no other person has existed with your code completely. No other person will ever exist with your code. Now, this guy could not have done that without a purpose for your life. So that's the first proof that you have a purpose. Not the person has the same fingerprint like you. Not that person has the same earlobe. Not that person has the same voice code. Not that person has the same eye print. A lot of things, no other person. There could be similitude, but similitude is not exactitude. And that is why a lot of people, suffer. Why? They try to imitate people. Now, Emerson says something. Ralph Waldo Emerson, he said, imitation, rather, he said, envy is ignorance and imitation is suicide. What that means is that when you are envious of people, you are just ignorant of what you have. I'm going to talk about the parable of the talents in the Bible, and you're going to see how what God gave you is not what He gave me. And what you're supposed to do with what He gave you is not what I'm supposed to do with mine. actually we're going to find is one vision, many missions, but and it's dynamic. But as we go ahead, we find out that now this issue of purpose is very, very outdated. What are people looking for? They're looking for how can I make it? How can I get connection? The person you want to connect with, how to? The person wants also connection. So the question you're going to ask yourself, are you connectable? You want to connect with me? I want to connect with somebody. Now, are you the kind of person I want to connect with? The only way I would want to connect with you is that you are valuable. And do you know what? What's the name, ma? Eh? Ibijoni. Okay. Welcome, ma. And what's the name? Glad. Yes. There's something Ibijoni can do. We call it onlyness. Write it down. Onlynes. Onlynes. Rather, ness. Yeah. Only. That is only the ness. Onlyness. Onlyness. Now, onlyness is a concept I think developed by Nilofa Merchant. She's I think she's Indian American and all this. And holiness means that thing only you can do more than every other person on earth. If you can't find it, and if you don't find it, you are going to live a very ordinary life. So that is why Emerson said that envy is ignorance and stupidity. Why what? Imitation is suicide. Because when you are imitating a Folabi, I am killing my onlyness. What am I doing? I'm imitating your onlyness, living what? My own onlyness. So Glad, what is that one thing you feel? One, you love doing and you can pay to do it. Something you love doing that you can, not somebody to pay you, that you can pay to do it. For instance, I love talking. I love encouraging people. I love advising people. In fact, I can pay you to advise you. You see, when we are in primary school, secondary, university, some of my friends up to today, when they see my wife, they will tell her, "Ha, this is your husband." It was in year one. I was in third year. Every time he sees me, he'll say, Charles, Emeka, Afolabi, what are you doing with your life? And I always run away from him because whenever he asks me that question, I will always remember that really I'm not doing anything with my life. So I like avoiding him. They tell my wife, they tell my children now. So you see, that was what was manifesting then until I started earning money doing that. So, Gladys, what is that one thing from your childhood you love doing it to the extent that you can even pay money to do it?
I love helping people.
Yes. In what ways?
Like if I see somebody that is suffering.
Yes.
I hate to see somebody suffer.
You hate to see people suffer.
They said that my mother gave me a name in Igbo.
Yeah.
Ababa Apokaikai. That is Ababa
Apokaikai.
You are not
rich. And then.
So sometimes I'll carry my clothes. Okay, that's what people do. I will not tell her. She will not see it from people.
Yeah.
So, but
it's not as if you have much.
What I have.
Yeah.
You will not see it. I say, so that clothes you are giving it to me. So from childhood, I started. It gives me joy when I do it.
So do you have any NGO?
I don't have any NGO yet, but I have it in mind. But not yet. I don't have one now.
Okay.
But it gives me joy. That's the only thing that can make me happy on this earth. When I help somebody in any dimension, whether in kind, in cash, anyhow.
Even in counseling.
Yes. I've put some children in school with my little
resources.
Yeah. So when I do it, that's the only thing that makes me happy.
Wow.
So I don't know, I've been trying my best. What I need is resources to do more.
Wonderful. Yeah. Wonderful. That's the problem. The problem is, where would the resource come from? And that is why God has brought you to this program. Because there are two paths to this. One is that thing you can even pay to do, that thing you love so much that you can pay to do it. The other part is that thing you love so much that you must find a way that you are paid to do it. If these two parts are not there, then you're going to die a poor person. And one of the worst things you can do on earth against the poor people is to be poor. Did you get that? The worst thing you can do against these people you want to help is to be what? To be like them. So that is why, if you want to help your humanity, your family, the world, first of all, be better yourself. Because it's by being better that the gifts God gave you that you can use it in the world. You see? So now I want you to get out of your mouth the word, what I don't have is resources. I'm looking for resources. There is no place to look for resources. Your mother looks for resources. Maybe she's still alive. Maybe she's not alive. Your father looked for resources. And they never saw resources. There is no place to look for resources. Resources must be what? Created. You see this word? God has created it, given it to you. And it's so unfortunate that we who call ourselves the children of God, we don't even know the authority we have. You see? Okay. Afolabi, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I was from a book you asked us to read.
Yes.
The
Science of Getting Rich. William D. Wattles.
Just sort of summarize.
Wonderful.
The whole chapter.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah. Gladys may not really understand me now.
Exactly. You just have to, that you have been able to identify what you are.
You're called to do.
Yes, you're called to do. Then you now need to look for how. Because if you are not rich,
Yeah,
you don't get more than what is required to satisfy that. You will never.
you can never help anybody. So that is why, if you want to be wicked to the poor, be poor. Now, you see, they say they will take from the people who are poor. It's in the Bible. If they're not using it. And the only reason, yes, the only reason they are poor is because they're not using it. Did he not? That guy in Luke chapter 19 and the one in Matthew chapter 25, did they not have something? Do you know what is a denarius? Let me tell you. If you go to Wikipedia, you will see. Then even if you go to Bible, you are going to see that in Matthew 25, you're going to see that one talent is about 600 denarii. 1 denarii is about 1 day's pay. So 365 divided by 6,000 divided by 365 will give you about 16 point something years. So what God gave, one of those talents was about 16 to 20 years wages. What does it tell you? It tells you that nobody on earth is empty-handed. But the only reason the poor is poor, I'm not talking about politicians. The only reason the poor is what? They've not used what they have. And you're going to be asking now, no, is the country that made them poor? Is the Buhari that made them poor? I saw what you posted in the platform, Afolabi. What did you post? You posted that if the environment was the reason people are poor or rich, that everybody in the environment will be what?
I was quoting what you have talked about.
Yes, you were calling William D. Wattles.
Yes.
But you see, to open the mind of the poor person to see this thing is one of the hardest job on earth. Because it will be like, if you want to help us, God. Jesus said something that is so funny, and it can be termed wicked if you look at it from a rational perspective. They pour oil on him, and somebody is saying, this oil that is being poured on you is very expensive. It can be used for the poor. He said more something like, what kind of heartless talk is that? He said, leave this poor. This woman is preparing me for what? My death. The poor our Savior is saying, will always be with you. So why don't you say, God forbid? While the poor will always be with us, I will not be what? The poor. Because Jesus did not write your name in the word, in the person that will be the poor. What he felt is that the poor, yes, what he means that is that there will always be people who will do what? Who will hide their talents. Now look at what he said again. In that place you read in the Bible, he said, take from those who do not have. Sorry, they corrected him and said, this person you want us to give this thing. He has 10 already. He said, to them who do not have, yes, because they are not using it, it will be collected from them and given to who? Do you know how nature collects it from you, or collect it from the poor, or collect it from me and give to any other person? Do you sell car? Do you sell a bag of rice? I have a company, Dexter Rosie, that produces rice. So when you wake up in the morning, you have 20,000 remaining, all abroad and local and international, everything. What will happen? You come to my organization and buy what? And then you eat it and shit it out. Then I use the money to multiply. You get that? So that is how, if you are not doing, what happens? The doer, you will always give to him. It's not as if God will come to your pocket and collect the money and collect your talent. It's that because you are not doing, those who are doing, people will follow them and leave you. Over time, it goes moribund. So the question is, how can you really, understand what he has called you to do? But let's go ahead a little more. So I just gave one reason, one proof that you must have a purpose. That first proof was that your genetic combination shows that you have a purpose. Nobody has ever been like you. Nobody will be like you. So we have the second proof is what I call aptitudes. There are things you like and do. There are things you have personal passion for. And I don't have personal passion for them. There are things you can do so easily. And I can't do them so easily. There are things that you can comfortably solve, and I can't solve them. That is aptitude. The things you have natural propensity to do. They come easy to you. So, Ma, can we check on you? What are some of the things you have? It's so easy for you to do, like people will wonder, yeah, what is happening? You just did this so easily.
I love to turn things around.
Love to turn things around.
Yeah, to make something better out of whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
Anything I see, I like to make it better than the way I do.
And you have a way of seeing that you something that is wrong there, you can.
Yes, food though. If you give me food, even if it is not food from my place, if you give me the food that is not from my place, I will tell you I will do it better. Even though it's not my local food.
Yeah.
Something like that.
You can always work on it.
I will.
Wonderful. Great. So you can see ability to find out that thing that you have aptitude for, that thing that it is so easy for you to do. For instance, myself, I can see problem where there are no problems. In other words, if I'm a business consultant, if you bring me to your organization, I will find out what is it will be as if it's prophetic. In fact, if I allow you to come to my table on Monday and say, come to my table, you come to my table. Everybody who comes to my table, they don't talk. You can't come to my table and start telling me, no. And it makes me afraid because when somebody had referred you, I think the person told me something about you. Now, it's not because I'm a prophet. It's not because I'm smart. It's because it's what? It's my gifting. Immediately you sit down there, I will tell you everything about yourself. Not because I'm smart, not because I'm intelligent, not because there's something about me that is gifting. So that thing you have aptitude for. So that's what I use. I work for, I do a lot for governments. I do a lot for, you guys were here, about 50 something of you. Yeah, directors. I know they were here last week. Is it this week? Oh, yes, last week. Yes, and all those. And all of them went there, from permanent secretaries to all, we went out and we're like, wow. Yeah. What's the point? The point is, it is not because I'm smart. It is what? My natural propensity. I can sing. I've written more than 460 songs. I can write 20 songs in a day. Not because I'm wise, not because, it's my word, propensity. Yeah. Even at that, I don't feel like I want to be a musician. Okay. So what's the point I'm making? The point is simple, that you have aptitudes is a pointer to the fact that there is a reason God put those aptitudes there. The third one is that sometimes you see what I call God-shaped vacuum in your heart. In other words, there is some kind of, like my sister Glad was saying, there's some kind of a vacuum in your heart that makes you feel unfulfilled if you've not done that thing you feel you are gifted to do. Yes? Glad when you see people who are hungry and you can't give them food, do you sleep well that day? Is it because you made them hungry? Why shouldn't you sleep well? But it's a word, it's a vacuum in your heart that have been created by that you're gifted. So I'm just trying to prove the fact that there is something called gifting, there's something called purpose. I don't want us to take it religious. A lot of people who are not religious have found their purpose and they've done so much about it because it's always there. So, but let's look at something very important, what I call one vision, many missions. And that is where we always miss it. One vision, many missions. Now, what is that? A lot of people will always think that purpose has to be a lot general, rather a lot specific. Like your purpose on earth is not my purpose on earth. And it's not true. The simple fact is that all of us, if she's feeding people, yeah, if she's feeding people and she doesn't have a company, hmm, and she's trying to get money from somewhere, feed people, another, then you have a company, you are employing 10,000 people. She's doing the same thing you are doing. She's giving people fish, you are teaching people how to fish. The same thing. You fed these people and they went home, but you paid them salary, but you want them to be responsible. They come and work. You see. So no, none of my own purpose is not better than your purpose. It's not better than your purpose. It's only that we mustn't covet each other's purpose. We must find out what, yeah. We must find out what our own individual purposes are, and then we are able to, So it is generally God wants us to contribute. And I want you to write this thing down right now. Write it. God has given you some gifts. The best thing you can do to God is to give it to the world. I want you to always meditate on this. God has given me some gifts. The best thing I can do to God is to give these gifts to the world. Then you conclude by saying, God, help me to find how I can give these gifts to the world today. God has given you gifts. The best thing you can do to God is to give these gifts to humanity. So God please help me to find how I can give these gifts to humanity. That's one of the best things you can do. Please, ladies and gentlemen, if you were here and you, please, God help me to know how, yes, I can give these gifts to the world today. Please, if you are in this program, please, those online, please share with your friends. Share with your friends. The conference continues tomorrow. We've just done about 30 minutes. We have about 2 hours to go. So share with your friends so they can still join. So much to unpack, so much to unpack. We're just building from ground zero up, and you're going to see how it goes. So right now, share with your friends. Take a second, share this with your friends. Okay, good. Now, when you start asking God to help you to see how you can give this gift to the world, what will start happening is that you're going to see small, small ways you can give this gift to the world. And then from there, you grow it. For instance, Gladys, do you think that giving people, maybe those who don't have, giving them food and also helping them to learn something so that they can help themselves, you know, don't you think they can go together? They can go together. Okay. So if you don't have food to give to them now, what do you do? If there are ways you can, train them to start doing something, no matter how small. Yeah, it could be a Saturday morning. It could even be going to secondary school, GSS 3, SS 1 and above. You teach them something. Yeah, you are contributing to the world. A lot of people don't even know that some children cannot discuss freely with their parents about their menstrual issues. So what do? They go to neighbors to tell them, and the neighbors will now teach them, and it is always negative. That's also a way to help. So helping is not just buying food. Do you know how many marriages are in trouble today? Do you know how many people that are suffering from mental health issues? So all these are what ways you can do what you can help. You keep helping. You keep helping. Over time, you find out how can you do it in a bigger scale. For instance, who can pay? I have a mentee. You know, yesterday I was with her in the mentorship session, or um, I gave her one application to do. That is $98,000. For her, she has an NGO now, so she's applying for $98,000 grant. The one we were discussing yesterday, working because she needed government um, to help her with that. I was trying to get my friends in government to help. She's applying for 50,000, I think 50, 80,000 pounds. There are two categories depending on the one. Change it into Nigerian currency. You can see how much it is. But you see, you need a structured understanding to be able to know, how do I do this? How do I do that? Otherwise, you will still be like the people you want to help. So, ability to understand, it is one vision, but many words, many missions. It can come in form of what? In form of talk, in form of food, in form of prayer, whatever it is. Don't be stuck with one thing. Now, number four, rather, the fourth thing I wanted to talk in that category is that our vision, rather, our purpose is dynamic. Our purpose is what? Dynamic. What it means is that when you were 15 years old, okay, your purpose at that point, uh, do- are you having issues with the air conditioner? Is it okay? Okay, it's okay. When you were like in secondary school, your what? Your purpose then, as you are growing, it will do what? It will grow. When you are in university, the purpose will do what? Will grow. When you retire, it keeps changing. So, but the mistake we make is what? We think that purpose is what? Is static. And because people have known you with this thing, you don't want to change. It's not true. Remember, Jesus was what? What was Jesus? What was he doing? That was it how Jesus started?
Guys, first of all, when he was a teenager, learn from those old his teachers.
Which Bible are you reading?
It's true.
Jesus started as a carpenter, now, is he not?
Apart from that, self-development, he learned a lot under the feet of those who just were asking the question, big questions. Like when he was 12 years old.
Yes, that's the point. That's the point we are saying. He started as carpenter, but he didn't lose the fact that he is here to do what? To help humanity, to save humanity. So he started as carpenter. Then, when his parents found him in the temple, what did he tell them? Don't you know I will be about my father's business? Yes, you have to put.
According to what you say,
Yes,
but that wasn't his purpose. How it started.
yes, yes,
The purpose is to what? Bring out God, just to save the world.
yes,
But at that particular time,
yes.
because let us say it's a training stage to understand humanity and to understand
Wonderful.
life, but that wasn't his purpose. The purpose is the same thing changing the world.
100%.
So he can't say he changed his purpose as he's growing up. In that life, you have to.
Wonderful. Now, what we want to say is that purpose is dynamic in that Jesus could have started serving the world at that age. Okay? So at the point he was, his purpose was what? Learn this carpentry. He learned the carpentry work. And the purpose was what? Do this one. He did it. The purpose was what? Do this one. I'm coming to that. Now, the point is that there are a lot of intervening factors. For instance, desire. You desire to go to university now. Yes? If you think the university is what? Is an end, what happens? You will never come out.
You never come out. And you never go.
You never, yes? Do you get that? If you think that carpentry is the end, now you are not Jesus. So what happens with you? Most times you need to now have different kind of purposes. For instance, I woke up for many years walking into the university. I just have about 2-3 years to my professorship. But every day walking into the university, what happens? I'm no more satisfied. I'm no more happy. I don't feel like I belong here. So you see, I've finished that part of my life and I moved to what? To another level. So in understanding purpose, you must know that purpose is dynamic, meaning that as you are going through in life, if I ask you what is your purpose right now, do you know what it is? Help me. What's your name? Austin. Do you know what's your purpose? You can't categorically say. So that is why purpose is what? Dynamic. So wherever you are, do it with all your mind, but open yourself. Immediately that purpose starts changing. Do what? Be free to change it. Because I saved a lot of students. Students walk into my office and say, so I feel like going to kill myself. I have HIV. So I feel like going to kill myself. I'm pregnant and I don't want to remove the child. I don't know. My father is a pastor. So at that level of my life, the purpose did its own work. You see, that is in my 20s, my early 30s. As I grew, the purpose leads me to another. Now, look at how purpose works, because I want you to understand that. Look at how purpose works. The guy who had 10 or 5 talents and made 5, and he was given the 5. If you look at that scripture, it says what? Come and enjoy with your father. Come into my happiness. So what do you think happened? Where he is, he had what? Elevation. Is it true? So if you were having one company, what happened? As you keep growing, you have what? 2, 3, 4, spread into cities and all those. If your interest was only in what? In training, it can extend into consulting, can extend into ministry, can extend into production, can extend into raw materials. It can, So purpose is dynamic. It can expand Yes, it can keep expanding as you are doing well. It can keep expanding. God will add more to you. Okay, so it's very important that you know that when you are, thank you, Adobe. Now, when you are growing, please don't be static. Don't say because this is what I people know me for, I can't do any other thing. Keep moving and keep moving. Then the next thing I wanted us to look at is that because we are not God, so we are not able to find purpose at the first time. So what do we need to do? We need to see the journey of purpose like a headlamp. If you stop at the Abuja airport and you need to go to your house is in Life Camp or in Wuse here, the right thing, the ideal thing is to, if you put on your light, the headlamp, from Wuse to your house, you should be able to see through. So you know if you can move or not. But that is not how life works. If you put on your light, what will you see? 500 meters. So the point about purpose is what? Immediately you are able to be convinced about the first few steps. Do what? Take that step. Immediately you finish that 500 meters, what happens? Another 500 meters will lay. When you finish, so that's a problem people always have. They will always say, I don't know my purpose. So they are doing what? They are always waiting to know their purpose. No, you can't really know your purpose. It's by trying things out. And one beautiful thing about purpose is that what you got in primary school, what you got in your church, what you got in your mosque, what you got in your service, what you got in internship, what you got from your father, what you got from your brother, what you got from an uncle, what you got when you were, you were robbed, what all of them will do what? They will all come up together as ingredients to cook your purpose. And you end up, using all those as what? As materials, ingredients to cook your purpose. So purpose is what? Dynamic. And using the headlamp analogy, wherever you are now, just open your mind. Time will me to tell you some stories, but I will as we go ahead. Now, the next thing we need to talk about is what? Your job versus your work. And that is very important. And that's why people miss it. Your job is not your work. Your job is what? Is not your work. Your work leverages your gifts, while your job leverages your skills. Your job is what you are paid to do in your workplace, in the place you work, but your work is what God brought you here to do for humanity. One of the things I encourage my mentees is if there is a way, thank you, Efe, if there is a way you can make your job your work, you are going to be so happy in life. If there's a what? A way you can make your job your work. If there's a way you can make your job your work, you are going to be happy all through your life. So, every work you are doing now, almost every work you are doing now, most of them are accidental. What did you study in school? Political science. Probably what would you have wanted to study? I mean, when you were entering school? Law. Now, but what do you think you have passion for right now? But you see, a young lady, she's a very young person. She wanted to study law. Any person you see in humanity and in the social sciences, a lot of them are close to 90% are frustrated law students. Okay. Now, she wanted to study law. She ended up studying political science. But now she works in my organization. She knows that, oh, she loves business. I was looking at her WhatsApp this thing. She says she's a business strategist and business consultant. It's not a laughing matter. You are. Yes? So what's the point? The point is, you must understand that what you read in school is what we call accidents in philosophy. Accidents. They happen because maybe your uncle encouraged you, or you didn't get to the cutoff point, or whatever. And it happens when you end up as a civil servant. Austin, what do you do?
I study mental health.
Yes, what do you do now?
I'm kind of a health consultant.
A health consultant.
Yeah.
Okay.
While working with the politician.
While working with maybe soon you will be a politician too, and all this. Okay. So now, if you didn't study, Sunny, welcome. If you didn't study health, probably you will be doing another thing. If you are studying law, probably, or political science, you. But the point is very simple. Doctors, welcome. And she's a welcome. Thank you. Now, the point is very simple. Your ability to understand that don't hold on to the work, or rather the job, as if it is a gospel. No. Your job can change. If you can, help your job and your work to come together, you're going to be so happy. That's what has happened in my own life. What I'm doing today, the conference, is not because I want to sell anything. I make a lot of money. It's not because I want to sell anything. But if I don't do this, my job will begin to suffer. Why? I'll start losing the steam to wake up every morning. I have enough money in the bank. So what will I do? When I wake up in the morning, there's money. So why should I go out? I'll stay at home. You see the problem why a lot of people can be very successful. You made 20 million because what you made the 20 million in is something that is not motivating you. What do you think will happen the next month after that 20 million? You no you be at home because you are not. What are you going to office to do? You have enough money. You can invest it. You can start working. But if what you are like the footballers, they love what they are doing, and they're not paid to do that. Like the musicians, they love what they are doing. They're not paid to do that. So your ability to understand that your job is not your work and keep looking for your work, you are going to be happier when you are able to find that. But let's look at something very important. There are there's something I call 10 things purposeful people know and do. So I call it tools of purpose. Tools of purpose. I want you to write them down. I'm going to give you about 10. Tomorrow, we will work on how you can discover your purpose. I'm going to talk a little about that today. But tomorrow, we're going to use a workbook to do the discovery so that at the end of the workbook, you're able to see, yes, I can now understand what my purpose is like. Do you know how I know poor people? I know poor people when they think that money is wealth. Money is just one small part of wealth. When you develop value consciousness and you have value, money will do what? Money will naturally pursue you. Why? I will always joke about it. No matter how much fufu begs magnet to magnet it, do you think it will work? If iron is passing and and magnet is passing, do they usually beg themselves? Immediately they come together. Okay, sorry guys. I think the online people it went off. Sorry about that. Okay, so now I was talking about what? Help me. Okay, so I was talking about the fact that if you are going through the street of value, what happens? You are going to, attract value because value attracts value. That is why magnets will always attract iron. Iron will not beg for magnet to attract it. Like the book you told me, the book I gave you guys to read, The Science of Getting Rich. You find out that no matter how, okay, I was discussing with somebody came for a mentorship class. I was discussing with him after talking with him. Now I started with telling him that value can never be outdated, and I told him that when you have value, you will not run around, you will not beg for a lot of things. So at the end, okay, I gave him an example that if you have the cure for corona and HIV, Buhari can invite you, your president can invite you, and you just say, I want to sleep. I can't make it to the meeting. And Buhari will do what? He will not get angry. He will just say, oh, Kali, when will you make it? Because if he gets angry, you may claim that you don't remember how to do it.
Yes.
That's how powerful value is, Okay. So now, the guy was about going, I was telling him one of my mentees that I mentored this boy and he raised 100 million naira from one person with a company that is just on paper. It's not as if like you come, you see things and all. So he said, okay. So I know that he has gone into how can. I immediately called my mentee and put it on speaker. I said this thing is on speaker. I said I was telling somebody I made you to raise 100 million naira from one person in for just 5% of your company or so. The guy started laughing and said everything he is now after God he owes to Dr. Kali because this guy had made him to achieve things he couldn't have even thought about. And I said I told the guy to greet him. He greeted him, and I said, now tell him what you do. Tell him what your company does. He said, our company is Orange and Electric Limited. We have another one, hybrid nanotechnology. What do we do? We have a generator that run on water. You see? And the one that was in front of me fainted. We have to pour him water.
Yes.
Then he said, that one that was in front of me said, Doc, it has gone back to what you said, that if the president calls you while you have cure for HIV and this, you can decide to sleep. That guy, the one in front of me said, how can you neglect somebody who has a generator that runs on what? On water? How? Now, I said, what else do you do? He said, at the moment, I don't want to, because I'm recording, I don't want to call the name of the organization. He said, at the moment, we are working for so organization doing a work of about 100 something million for them. What are we doing? We are building a plant that converts non-degradable waste into like AGO, like gas, this one, convert it to raw materials for building, convert it to something you use for roofing, for interlocking and all those. He's doing it for a federal government agency now. They're building the plant for them. Does he need connection to do that? Whether it's PDP or APC or whoever comes, you can't neglect. This is a problem in Nigeria. Go to sea, go to Gotas, go to everywhere. The guy has built, a plant that can convert this thing to bring out some fuel from it. Then the remaining will be used for roofing, yes, building materials. Does he need to beg you? He cannot beg you for anything. I said, what else you guys do? Oh, he said the next company, hybrid nanotechnology. We are into renewable energy. We have a battery that if you charge it for 6 hours, you will use it, guess how long? For 6 months. You have spoken Arabic.
In Islam, when you get things that
Yes.
look like
Out of this world.
that God is God that is talking.
Do you want me to call him now?
No.
I call him. Yes. I'll call him. So what's the point? The point is immediately you find your purpose on earth and start seeing what God wants you to do. Yes. You start finding out that everything becomes so easy. Everything becomes so easy. So I want to talk about the tools, but let me see if I can get him on phone. You could just tell us something about his
Dear
company.
customer, the MTN number you have dialed is currently switched off.
Okay.
Please.
Okay. So now, if I was able to get him, you can see what the company does and what mentorship has done for. So let me give you 10 tools. But before I give you the 10 tools, let's talk about the spectrum of wealth. It's very important for me that people understand the spectrum of wealth. Why you will always be poor. If you don't understand the spectrum of wealth, you're going to be very, very poor. Money is nothing. Money is a colored paper. And if you don't get anything from what we are doing today, please get this. Money is what? A colored paper. Mommy, why will I give you 100 naira? Unless you have this. If you have this now, I do what? I give you 100 naira and collect it. So money is nothing. Money will always follow value. So instead of concentrating on just, the non-fundamentals. See my brother say, oh, he's working with one politician. I know some of my friends who work with politicians, one of my boys, for the next 20 years, you're walking around and they give you barely enough to take good care of yourself. Yes? You sit down and you just learn programming. You sit down for 6 months, you learn programming. You go to upwork.com, you go to fiverr.com. You may be making $3,000 every month. One of my friends who works with United Nations, he was with me a few days ago here. I was asking him about one of the daughters that is also my friend. He told me she's working from home. And I asked, okay, which company? She said, she's at Upwork now. She this Upwork, and then she works there, and that she earns more than himself. He's about retiring from United Nations system. I don't want to mention the agency. He's about retiring. He said the little girl makes more money. He was telling me how he wanted to borrow, he wanted to buy dollar from her a few days ago, and she's insisting on 560 because dollar is about 575 or something like that, and he's begging her for 500, and she said, when you are ready, come. You are not ready because if you are ready, you can't be talking about 500. Yeah. What's the point? The point is that when you don't understand, purpose, you run around thinking it's not true. So let me tell you the spectrum of wealth so you can understand it. There are 5 that I've listed out, but the best for me, the first one for me that is most important to me, I'm going to mention them in order. The first one for me is what I call spiritual wealth. Spiritual wealth. Why is that important to me? It's important because if you don't understand, Israel, are you hearing me from the computer? You are hearing me from there. Okay, so I want to be sure. If there's any other thing, let me know because you're my monitor. Okay, I'm not monitoring myself. So why it's important is that if you don't have a spiritual anchor in life, please, I'm not talking about religion. I'm not talking about whether you're Muslim or Christian or Buddha or whatever. I don't care about what you are. I'm talking about understanding that you are not here as an accident. Understanding that there's something, somebody, something you defer to. That gives you a lot of confidence. Now, there are a lot of people who have done so great a job on earth, they don't believe in a God in that sense. They believe in humanity as their God. Their own God is what? Humanity. You see them, they are so good. They do good to everybody. When they asked Jesus the biggest law, do you know what he said? Love the God your love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your strength, with all your blah 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 blah. Then he said the second one that is like it what? Love your neighbor as yourself. A lot of them love sometimes you will see them and the way they're behaving, you say, I know you are born again. You say, I don't even believe in anything. I believe in humanity. So you're going to come to a point where you become a spiritual person, somebody who is interested in worshiping God for God's sake, not worshiping God for the sake of denomination, not worshiping God. Some people who are killing people in the name of, God, you are going to ask, which Quran do they read? Which Bible do they read? Where is it in the Bible that you go and kill people? You keep wondering. So the point is, you must have a spiritual anchor and understand that you have to be like your Father in heaven. Who is your Father in heaven? What does he do? He allows the sun to shine on the good and the bad. He allows this one. Mommy, do you want us to put up this one? Okay, please. Your wishment is my commandment here. Okay. Yomi, how are you? Welcome. Um, Thank you, Joshua. Now, your ability to understand this will help you to have some level of confidence in the moral justice. I know a lot of people who people had poisoned, done a lot of things against, and it never really worked. And when you tell them, be careful, don't do this, and they say, no, I've never thought bad against anybody. Nobody would think bad against me and it will survive. And you see them, it works for them. So it's understanding that there is a being above us who you must defer to. Okay, if you've got that. So I'm thinking that spiritual wellness is ability to know where you stand in your spiritual life and be able to say, yes, in line with what I believe about God, I am standing aright. If you can understand that. The next one is what I call health and wellness. Now, health awareness for me is second only to spiritual awareness. Why? Because when you are sick, if you are sick, you forget what? All the money you have in the bank. And that is why you must do everything humanly possible to be in the right what? In the right frame and in the right shape. So what are some of the things you should do? I call it RED, R-E-D. Relaxation, exercising, and dieting. So let's talk a little about that. Let's talk a little about that. If you are thinking of relaxation, think of what you do deliberately to get yourself to frame. A lot of us don't have anything we do deliberately. At our ages, we are eating a lot of sugar. We watch television till 11, 12. We don't even drink water. We just, you know, wake up in the morning, no exercise. We don't understand conscious breathing. I've used conscious breathing to heal myself of asthma, breathing consciously. Funny. Mommy said?
How do you do that?
Yes, I'll tell you. Breathing is the combustion mechanism of the human body. That is why when you breathe in oxygen, you exhale um, carbon dioxide. And a lot of us, welcome, ma'am, welcome. A lot of us don't breathe, from our nose. If you close this one now and close this one, you may find out that one is blocked. So most times, what we do is that when we go to sleep, we breathe through our mouth. And when we breathe through our mouth, we have too much air in our body. And breathing through the mouth is like what? Eating through the nose. So the mouth is for what? For eating, the nose for breathing. But that's what we call conscious breathing. So let's try it out right now. And you'll see a little difference. And I encourage you to go to YouTube and just put there conscious breathing or breathology or say breathing for healing or just do that and you check it out. But let's do a little of that immediately. So join me, those online, those offline. You join me, okay? So sit well as if there's a rope here that they drag up so that you can be like this, okay? Now, yes. And then this night, try something. When you want to sleep and sleep is not coming, breathe in through the nose, hold it for about, as much as you can, and then breathe it out through the mouth. Just do as if you will do it 10 times. If you do it 10 times, if you finish the 10 times, call me. I'll give you money. You can't finish it. By the time you do the fourth, the fifth, getting to seventh, you won't count again. You will slip off. Do you know why people are poor? People are poor because what makes for riches are so small. They are so simple that you cannot. Do you know I have suffered ulcer, for many years. Do you know how I cured ulcer? I take water, put it in my mouth, hold it for maybe for 30 seconds, 1 minute, swallow. Yeah, that's how I drink water for a long time now. And that's how I stopped seeing ulcer. So how do I explain it to a medical doctor? How do I say, do I need to explain it? I have a first degree in philosophy, best student. I have a second degree in philosophy. I have a PhD in philosophy. I teach logic. I teach epistemology. I teach human nature. I teach philosophy of the mind. Apart from all every other thing I've read. Now, one of the theories I developed in life is that life is larger than logic. There are things you can't explain. I've seen people who were shot in their dreams. They wake up in the morning, they see what? They see bullet wound. How do you explain it? Stupid. It happens. So life is that way. But let's do our exercise for those who are interested. Now it has no religious connotation. It's just science. You read and you see. So now let's sit up and then you close your eyes, then breathe in, just full breathing into your stomach. Yes. So you breathe in for 6, like you breathe as if you're counting 6, hold it for about 7, and then do what? Breathe out longer than you do what? That you breathe in. So it's through the nose. We'll still do through the mouth, through the nose. So we're going to do this one 5 times, and then I'm going to tell you when you do the mouth. And if you're online, please join us. Let's go. 1, 2. Close your eyes. Breathe in through the nose, into your lungs, into the belly. Hold it for, and then you breathe out. Concentrate on your breath. Do as if you are, close your eyes and do as if you are looking at the tip of your nose. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out through the nose. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out through the nose. Breathe in. Hold. Through the nose. One more. Hold. Through the nose. One more. Hold. Through the nose. One more. Hold. Through the mouth. Let's go. Hold. Through the mouth. Go. Hold. Through the mouth. Two more. Hold. Through the mouth. One more. Hold. Through the mouth. Now slowly open your eyes. Slowly open your eyes. Okay. Now, how do you feel generally? Let me start with you. You don't need to feel anything. And then you shouldn't lie that you're feeling something. I know faith is a liar. So let me start with that. Faith, how are you? Welcome. You came late now. You should have been here early to welcome people. If it happens tomorrow, I'll send you home. Okay. Now, when you looked at, sorry, I didn't remember to tell you guys, when you looked at your energy level, realization level before you did it, was there any change? What did you notice?
I'm feeling more relaxed.
You're feeling more relaxed. Okay. Yes. Oh, you feel more relaxed. Another. Okay. So now, um, I'm being distracted again. I, it's mommy that is distracting me because she's not telling me to this. I'm talking of purpose. I'm not talking of this. But let me say that when you start doing this, one of the things you will notice is that your energy level will be what? High. And I tell you, you'll be happier.
I'll be happy when it happens.
Yes, and then you'll be happier. And what happens is that immediately your energy level is high and you are happier. What happens? Your productivity will go high. Now, let me show you something. She can finish 10 clothes, washing 10 clothes in 1 hour. And you can finish it in 30 minutes because you are happy, your energy level is high. So you are every 1 hour we spend on life, you gain 30 minutes, you lose 30 minutes. Now, after one day, it won't appear as if it's something. After 1 month, it won't appear as if, after 2 years, you will see the gap will be there. You'll be far, she will be at the back. And people will say, what? You are lucky. In my life, people say I'm lucky. They say I'm lucky with everything. I'm lucky with school. I'm lucky with, I say, don't you see my crutches? I'm disabled in my lower limbs. I have poliomyelitis when I was 1 year, 6 months. So don't you see that luck? The truth is, because you have your legs, you don't sit down to think. Because you have your leg, you are what? You are boisterous. You are hearing hello out here, and you do what? You move. But you see me now, I can't move because by the time I put on, I adjust my calipers, go down this, go out and come back. 3 hours are gone. So it's better I do what? I concentrate doing this thing I'm doing, reading. So because I have poliomyelitis and most times I sit down to think all my life, I had developed quite a lot of principles. Back to your question about what? Breathing. Now, that's what we call conscious breathing. When you start doing it, you are going to see your lungs, your person, everything will be nice. We're talking about relaxation. Remember, I talked about red, so I'm dealing on relaxation. So in relaxation, make sure that you get enough sleep as an adult. It's very important. Everything on earth, everything you will ever do on earth is what? Energy. And if your energy is not high enough, you can never be productive. And if you can produce more than my sister Glad can produce, what will happen? If you're producing one every day, more than Glad, one every day, what will happen in 365 days? You have produced 365 more than Glad. It will start showing. It will start showing in your wealth. It will start showing your level of happiness, in your societal influence, and before you know it. Okay? So if you've got that, that's one of the things I want to talk about. Relaxation. Make sure that television is not in your sitting room. Rather your living room. Make sure that you give yourself, from today I encourage you, give yourself 1 month television, fasting. Just 1 month. After 1 month, you go back to your television if you wish to. But if you try it, you may never go back to your television. You see, I have a lot of followers on online. I am an IT expert. I read ICT in a university founded in 1425. So I teach it. I teach digital marketing. I teach all those things here. But you see, I don't go online to check people's what do you call it? People's status. I don't do that because you don't understand that little thing. I spend 3 minutes checking status in the morning, 3 minutes so I spend an average of 10, 20, 30 minutes. Times it by 1 year. You see why you've never written a book. You see why you've not done this one. You see why you've not accomplished. You see why there is so much procrastination in your life. I read an average of 1 book every day simply because I've done what? I've cut off quite a lot of these things in my life, from my life. And I tell you, readers are what? Leaders. Learners are what? Earners. And one of the things is that when you stop watching this television, and I'm not recommending it, but it's just your life, what you are going to notice is what? One man just paid for my program, kind of mentorship, and he just came to see me, and the man was lamenting. I tell him, until Jesus comes, you can never be successful. Again, he was successful, but you can never be successful. Your energy level is low. You are blaming Buhari. You are blaming everybody. You can't change Buhari. We don't have that capacity to change him. We can't change his character. We can't change him from borrowing. So when you are seeing all those things, your energy level is so low. So relaxation is very important. Now, the next thing is what? Your exercises. A lot of us don't exercise. And look at it. Exercise mustn't be something. Yes, James, thank you very much. Thank you, Chidozie. Thank you, Okoko. Now, exercise mustn't be Yomi. Thank you. Exercise, Emmanuel. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, exercise mustn't be something that must be too great. You must buy all kinds of equipment. No. If you read the book Tiny Habits by BJ Forge, he's a Harvard Stanford professor. Yeah, he will tell you how tiny habits, and I recommend the book for you. I recommend Tiny Habits. I recommend Atomic Habits. Yes, Atomic Habits is by what's his name again? So you can go to PDF Drive. Let me put it down here for those who don't, because I always tell my friends about it. pdfdrive.net. pdfdrive.net. So you can download any book you want there. Okay, good. Now, in Tiny Habits, you're going to see that the things made for greatness are not too big. So we wake up in the morning. Have you taken your hands, Sunny? Have you taken your hands above your head today? And in what occasions? Do you know that a lot of us adults, we end up in 1 year, we don't take our hands above our heads. There is nothing we do that make us take our hands above our heads. Nothing. So you be deliberate about it. In your seats, you do what? You can set 1 hour. You just do 5. Is more than enough. Sorry. 5 is more than enough. you do what? You go, you continue with what you are doing. It has been said that the new cigarette is what? Sitting. The new cigarette, what's that thing in cigarettes? The new narcotic. Yes. The thing that is causing cancer, causing everything, because is what? Sitting. Look at it. You come to work from morning till night, you are sitting down. That is why our forefathers, they never suffered all some of this kind of. So, but when you learn these things, you can do little things to help yourself. So we've talked about relaxation, we talked about exercise because of our time. Dieting. A lot of my friends suffer. I give you a very simple testimony, okay? Oh, thank you, Henrietta. Thank you so much. Now, one of my, okay, a few years back, every time I sleep on this side, yeah, I wake up. Every time I sleep on that side, I know it. If I go to hospital, it will be go to India, do this one, or surgery, and all those. I don't want to say I don't trust doctors. I had polio when I was 1 year, 6 months, and it colored my mind about medicine generally. So I prayed. I said, God, please, I just want to solve this. I'm a natural remedy person. Yeah. I understand that the human body, okay, rather, there's nothing called sickness. Sickness is when the body cannot live up to his what? Expectation. Because I wear calipers on my legs, when I sit down, there's a pressure on me, on my lower abdomen. So over time, this part of my stomach will just be doing sometimes. When I went to hospital, the doctor said there's a muscle somewhere there that it is being strained. I said, doctor, what can I do? Nothing. What's the solution? Maybe you take painkillers. I came home. I said, God has taught me that there's nothing called sickness. I said, because the man mentioned muscle. Every muscle can be what? Can be exercised to come back to his natural. Anything that has muscle, wherever you can find, whether it's buttocks, whether it's breast, whether it's stomach, whether it's brain, wherever you find muscle, hand, what you can return it to what it used to be. That's why when people have stroke, you see they'll give them bolo to be balloon to be blowing, and they give them something to be doing there just to return that. Most time you see those who did it will return it, start talking normal. One of my friends, he talks normal now, he does everything, you wouldn't know he had stroke. So all those knowledge packed in my head, I went home and started doing what? Tummy trimming. I just did it for just a day. The thing left and was gone. I'm talking about understanding exercises. So now, talking about dieting now, that thing that was happening to me, I started thinking, what could it be? And I remember that there was a time when I eat Gary, when I go to sleep, it's like a aeroplane is on my head. I will have a trouble sleep. I started removing things I eat in the night. When I removed Gary, the thing stopped. You see, we are very careless with our lives. When I removed Gary, the thing stopped. Now, when I drink Coke, like 2 times in 2 days, or like I drink today, I drink tomorrow, I'll get the same feeling. I had to start removing things until I got that is Coke. I mean, let me not say Coke, soft drink. Even wine can do that. I mean, like beverage wine can do that to me. I stopped. What am I encouraging you to? Be very careful with your life so that you can always eliminate the things. As you are getting older, what happened? small thing that you used to eat before and they don't have any issue with, they will start disturbing you little by little. You remove that. If you continue and continue, what happened? Cancer, high blood pressure, diabetes, this one will come. So now, that thing that was happening to me, because of my experience in my health, the way I've handled my health, I now knew that I can do something about it. But I don't know what. I prayed. When I prayed, I was um I was at the market. I took my wife to the market here in Abuja or at Otako market. I was in the car waiting for her to finish. One boy, very smart Hausa boy, he came, talking to me about he was carrying spices, turmeric, help me, fenugreek, help me, cinnamon, ginger. He was carrying all those. He came talking to me about it. And then as he was talking to me about it, I told him, how do I know now that this thing you are saying this thing will do will work? He gave me one website. He opened it and gave me healthtips.com or something like that. Or, I've forgotten the website now. I opened it in my phone and it was there. I was impressed. I said, wow, you are so smart. He told me that he joked with me and said that Igbo man trained him, that he met an Igbo man in Kano, and the man took him in as his son and trained him. Or the man was the person who trained him until he went to SSCE, and then left the man. And we joked about it, and okay, that was how I started buying that thing. Use it to cook for me, use it to in the morning, use it to do tea for me. Take small put, and instead of Bonvita, instead of this one, that one. And do you know what? That was how that heart enlightenment left me. Please, I'm not recommending anything to anybody. What am I saying? I'm just saying ability to diet, ability to be careful with what you eat. Now look at how powerful the human body is. You eat chicken. Have you ever, gave out chicken as a physics before?
As a
Physics as sheets. You cannot. What does the body do? The body will take chicken and work on it and transform it into flesh. The other one will go. That's how powerful the body is. Now, and you take chemical and put in the body. What do you think happens? The body has complex way of working with flesh and all and turn it into flesh. What do you think it will do with chemical? It will work on it and turn it into something that may not be something that is wonderful for you. So, anytime you take a product and they are calling what is on the name of the is something not is harmful, is something it's sounding like chemical. You can't relate with it. Do what? Keep it. Eat food. Don't eat something that look like food. That is what? That is my principle regarding food. At a particular age, as a young person, people like Faith can do what? Can eat anything. We wish her luck. But as you are growing, you do what? Now eat food. Don't eat something that look like food. Yeah, even as a young person, eat food. It helps you a lot. Okay, so if you've got that, let's go over to the third thing I was talking about, spectrum of wealth. So the first one I talked about what? Spirituality. The second one I talked about what? Health and wellness. And I gave you red. The third one, family and relationships. Family and relationships. When we say family, yeah, sometimes we are brothers and sisters by blood. And most times, we are related by love. So when we say family, yes, we extend it. So, all the people, in your circle who have, treated you as such. So your relationships and love is so important. Man is created as a loving animal. Don't joke with it. It's so when I go to internet today, I see how boys and girls talk about love. I laugh and say amen. Why do I say that? It is something you don't teach people. Don't worry. You hit, you make money, you hit, you do this one. You don't pay attention to love and relationship. I'm not talking about boy and girl love, and I'm talking about understanding. A lot of families, fathers are not there for their kids. They are absentee fathers. My children, my second daughter turned 13 on the first of this month. The first one, yeah, her birthday is next month. Sorry, next week. Now, when they had their menses, they did what? They kept it, and when I came back, they showed me that my menses had come out because I'm not an absentee father. I made provisions for them. I made sure a lot of things work, and some of them, fathers are not at home, then mothers are not at home. It is all about what? Career, 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 career. You do career, career. Go to Abuja here. Out of every 10 marriages, 7 are divorced. Do you know one funny thing about the divorce? All of the divorced people, they still make love. Who are they making love with? Get it right. Divorce is not it's not because somebody is not wise or because somebody is heady and all those kind of things. Yeah. But what I always encourage, if we must make love, why don't we, try and see how we can make that work? But if they can kill you in the marriage, why not? Because I can't encourage you to be where they will kill you because life is not negotiable. But the point I'm trying to make is from the beginning, if both of us, the man and the woman, if they have this kind of message and they were able to understand that money is good, you can make a lot of money. I do make a lot of money. But you see, family, love, relationship is very important. What would they do? They will pay attention to it. How much money is too much money? And that's how poor people talk about money, 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 money. Is it not this money? How much money is too much money? You go and sleep in Transcorp in the last floor. What else? You eat buffet. What else? What else? Love. So you must understand that you must be wealthy in your love. We are talking about purpose. Why is purpose important? Or rather, why is love important? If you don't have a good family, if you don't have good relationships, what happens? It will derail your purpose because you will never be happy. So please do everything to make sure that your marriage work, your relationships work, and all those. But I don't say you should die in them because it's only the person that is alive that will be in relationship. Now, the fourth one is what I call professional passion and vocational wealth. You are wealthy in your profession, in your vocation, in your passion. What does that mean? What it means is that whatever it is you are doing, if you're an engineer, you should be what? You should be good and you should do it well, succeed in it. If you're a lawyer, you should succeed in it. A business consultant, succeed in it. Whatever it is you are, a civil servant, do well there. You should, be wealthy in that. Now, the last one, which everybody makes the first one, which is the fifth, time and money freedom. Time and money freedom. Most times, if you don't have these things we're talking about, what happens? Time and money freedom becomes a problem. Can you imagine you don't have the energy and you are spending it to make money. What happens? You make little money, and then poor, it hits you. Sickness that your money cannot even solve. You start appearing on television, you start begging around, and all those. So that is why you must do what? You made 100 million, you use 50 million to go to India. They cut you and put a stent and all those. And then you service that stent with 10 million every other month, every other year. And your life is not sweet. And no, wealth should be more comprehensive. Why did I want to talk about this? Because if you don't have these things, you won't understand purpose. So let's quickly talk about the 10 tools that I mentioned before. Tools of purpose for people, tools for purposeful living. Now I'm going to put a number here. If you have question you want to ask, you can call the number and then we can take your question. Okay. So also, if you are in class, you can call the number and then, all right, you can talk to me and I take your question. Okay. So from now, you can interrupt me. I take your questions. Now, very important to note that there are 10 tools. Tomorrow, what we're going to do is we're going to look at how to discover, we're going to look at about 25 tools. We're going to look at it one by one and we work on them one by one. You use it to actually find your purpose. But for now, let's talk about 10 tools that purposeful people use. Number one, they understand wealth spectrum. That was why I'm there to talk about wealth spectrum. They understand what? Wealth spectrum. People who are purposeful in life, they understand wealth spectrum. A lot of people say, oh, they are running around for their career. They are running. Look at some of the women who are wonderful. Yeah, people like Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. People like, you see them. They have children. They have big career. They have husband. It seems they understand how to tie everything together. You see these ones that will do career. You see some of them. I don't want to mention this one. Every day he's married to one person who is a 1 minute man, and the next minute the person, quite a lot of stories and rubbish things around there. Yeah. So you must understand the spectrum of wealth and make sure you are balancing all of them as you are climbing up. In 2019, I travel a lot because of my kind of work. In 2019, I came back and I felt this year I've not been at home. And my first daughter, would turn 14 the next year. I said, I'm going to be at home for 2 years. If you know what I do, being at home for 2 years is like committing career suicide. But how? How do you want to pursue a fine girl around when she had been formed and she was already made and she's acquired some character? How do you now, I say it's better I stay 2 years at home, have some deeper rapport with these ladies at this time. Stay until she turns 16. Yes? And I've kept my word. I just called them and told them, okay, now I think I'm free. I can do my traveling again. So I had to do what? For 2 years. Stayed at home. She was in my program a few days late last year. And she was taking the course. Other people were taking the course. She was saying something and she said, yes, that when she looks at her mates and her friends and some character they were developing, she was developing along with them, that I cut short, and who they are now and who she is now, that she cannot but thank God. And that those of her friends that they've gone beyond what their parents can do, what can rescue. In the 21st century of Instagram, and there's no way, people who are training your children are like they're 200 million. There are too many. A little girl now, if you say you don't care about my mental health, Dad, you don't care about my mental. My mental health matters to me. You can't be talking that Eh? Me, ma, with disability. My mother will flog me and flog me. I'll be doing, and she would tell me, if you want to be a human being, you're going to be a champion. But if you don't want to be a human being, die right now that I'm young so I can give birth to another child if I want to. Now, it may sound wicked, but everything I am today, I owe to her. I'm not going to do that on my kids because, they were not as educated as ourselves. So that's why I had to spend 2 years to do what? To make sure. When we talk about this purpose, a lot of us think it's just to go and hit a contract and make money. No. You see people, they have small change. Their family is in shambles. Every aspect of their life. Purpose starts from home. Purpose, like charity, starts from home. If you are a man of purpose, a woman of purpose, it should show in your family. Please, this is not an indictment to anybody because, sometimes things happen. It may not be within your capacity. Maybe there's a divorce. Maybe there's some things, other things. Maybe, your husband can be bedridden. You are the person making the money, moving around. So the case can go astray. So it's not whatever. But if you had listened to this message when you were younger, probably a lot of things would have been better. So ladies and gentlemen, understanding what spectrum is very important, and I've mentioned them. Number two tool you are going to use as a purposeful person is what we call hope. H-O-P-E, hope. If you know how important hope is, and if you know what the tool of hope is, mommy, you're going to be the president of Nigeria in Jesus' name. Because she has hope. Because other people would do like this. They will laugh and then they say, oh, well, amen. But the way you say it, you are going to be. Why? Because hope is the last thing you lose. And that's one of the things government is not understanding. Our youths, they have lost hope in the country. Hope is something you build. It's a deliberate thing. You're going to inspire it. My children think, like my son thinks, my son thinks that he will have the part of the world that is his own, that he will annex and it will be his own, even in other people's country. Now, because I understand that Jesus said what? The kingdom of God belongs to who? Little children. Do you know why we are not successful, most of us? Because we lose our childlikeness. Every child thinks that what? Everything is possible. But as they're growing, when they start talking it, you say what? No, it doesn't happen. Countries have sovereignty, so there's no way you can. You see, so it's good that he tries it and discover for himself instead of me doing what? Imposing my own categories on him. What I guide him is that let him not do something that will harm him, but as per dreaming, one day I asked him, how can you describe yourself? He's 7. He said, I can describe myself as a dreamer. This morning, I was teaching, they are twins. I was teaching them something, a boy and a girl. I was teaching them something about entrepreneurship. And I'm teaching them something about purpose. I said, what's your purpose? I asked the boy. He said, my purpose is to liberate people from, economic and mental poverty. That I hate it when people blame Buhari this one. If Buhari is not helping you, can't you help yourself? Why must you? I said, wow, that's great. I said, but there are people who they don't know what to do. Yes, that's why I want to help them. Because the only reason people do the wrong is they don't know the right. And when he looks around, you see all the possible things people can do. People have cars, and we wake up every morning, come out, the security man hasn't washed the car, and you either wait or you drive it out like that. Yeah, cars. How many cars are in this? Too many cars. People must eat every day. He was telling me, and all those. Well, these are things he has had me say every time, but now it is part of him because he hears it. It's like language, he's learned it. The point being made is very simple. Hope helps you take childlikeness because hoping against hope, you still hope that something will happen. So I want to tell you three components of hope that can help you in achieving your purpose on earth. And if you don't understand that, you will always think that luck is a divine thing. No, don't ever believe in luck again. I'm going to talk about favor, and you use favor to replace luck and destiny and fate and all that. No. But let's talk about it. Hope. Three components of hope. Number one, you must believe that your goal is achievable. You must have a goal and believe that it's achievable. If you have a goal and you don't believe it's achievable, then how can you achieve it? You must have a goal and believe that it is achievable. That's number one. Number one component. So the question I'll ask you now, what is your goal for 2022? It sounds funny, but you see, a lot of us don't have goals. We wake up and as the Lord pleases. Now, whatever will be is a very, very stupid, fatalistic, refuge of stupid people. How could you say whatever will be? When you want to cross the road, you look left, you look right, and you look left again. Why? How could you say that? If you're hungry, you look for food. You don't say whatever will be. Let me just stay. No. Jean Paul Sartre called it bad faith. I call. Always making the younger brains wiser, lazy ones productive, and idealist, practical men. Uncle Kali, I lost you. Thank you. He's was my student in the university. The scatterbread, my very good friend. Okay, so now that is the first thing. So that is what you must have hope. Please, I beg of you, whatever they take away from you, let them not take away your vision of the future that is very bright. And that is why for some past 2-3 months now, I've been recommending stop watching television. Why? I watch before now, like I work for government. So greater percentage of my ideas are from news, or rather from my work. From I watch 8 o'clock AIT, and 9 o'clock Arise, and 10 o'clock channels. Yeah, I watch it. Then I pick, proposal topics and all that. But you see, over time, I found out that what I get in it for my business is now more difficult. Why? Because I used to think that it doesn't matter what I see, but when I started watching the level of my energy, it went so down. For instance, they took 21 person, 23, and put inside a bus, and do what? And burn them. Including a pregnant woman. And burn them. And she was burnt. Now, how can you wake up the next morning and be productive? You may not know. You may not know, but for a few days, and do you know the worst? Before that one comes down, what happens? Another one. I said, this thing, then what of groups? You will see people that will post where they broke somebody's head, the skull will be out, and I said, these guys, are you okay? How can you be posting these things here? Your energy will be going down, even as I'm talking it now. Look at how some of you are looking, because it drains your energy. So please, anything that's why when they talk about Buhari and come to your leg, remove your leg. On that day, 2023, go and do what? Go and vote. Don't be those people who say, I won't vote, my vote does not count. It's not true. Votes count. Politicians, that's why politicians buy PVC. If your vote is not, how can a wise politician buy something that is not working. They'll buy sometimes 5,000 for one thing that is not useful. Are you okay? How can they sell this dummy to us? So go and vote, but leave this all these are things for them. Some people must watch the television, but for you, first what is first you, if you can. Okay? Yeah, Uncle Jay, welcome. Gift, thank you for coming in. Now let's talk about the next thing about hope. The next thing is what we call willpower. You see, willpower. We've talked about what? Goal. Having a goal, believing that that goal can work. The next one is what we call willpower. Willpower is like, do you have the belief and the strength to say that this goal that I've set for myself, I can accomplish it? Please, we're talking about hope. Don't hope and wish. They are not, the hoping and wishing are not the same thing. Wishing is a hope that you've not broken down, that doesn't have a hope, that doesn't have a goal, doesn't have a willpower, and the next thing I'm going to mention, that's a wish. No, if wishes were horses, people would do what? Ride. Beggars will ride. So, do you have that willpower? Now, the third one is what we call, remember, I'm talking about hope. Oh, the third thing about hope is what we call way power, way power or pathways. Way power or pathways. Now, let me tell you what that means. And this is where, it gets on my nerve about people. You want to do something, you sent letter. You sent letter. Yes, thank you, Yomi. Thank you very much. You said it's the same with what? Social media. That's true. So that's why I encourage you, use the social media, post your things, but don't go reading and reading. There's nothing you can do on earth to make your time more than 24 hours. When I look at the youth, Ednot, help me, Tunde Ednot, this one and that one, P Square, they are doing, all kinds of things. There's no day you go to Twitter that something is not trending. No day. And people will spend answering, and then the hates there. Tonto Dike, this one and that one. Well, there are two kinds of people. There are people who are watching what is happening, and there are people who are making the thing happen. There are people who are producing for you to use, and so you decide which one you want to be. But when we talk about pathways or way power, I'm going to give you a concept. Please write it down. We call it infinite optionality. Write it down. Infinite optionality. Please, if you are enjoying this conference, kindly, share right now to your friends. Just share from wherever you are. Are you on Facebook? Are you on YouTube? Wherever you are, you share. And then please write your comment, please. Write comment of what you've learned today. Write something down there, what you've learned, please. I want you to do that. But infinite optionality, if you get this, Sunny, you are going to be as great as you want. What's infinite optionality? You know what is option? A lot of people have just 1-2 options about something. So immediately they go to the bank. Mommy, what do you do?
I'm an entrepreneur.
You're an entrepreneur. What do you, are you in production? Are you in sales?
No,
Or what do you produce?
I produce cosmetics and let's say food and cosmetics.
Food and cosmetics.
Using our adding value to our food.
Wonderful.
Like I have hibiscus tea.
Wow.
I have Dadawa spice like curry.
Wow.
I have.
Are you selling online?
Not yet.
Okay. Okay,
I
maybe.
have body cream.
Wow.
From shea butter.
Wow.
I have black soap paste.
Yeah.
From palm kernel oil.
Wow, that's super.
And hair cream.
Let's talk about it later. Chika, welcome. Good evening. Now, when you Talk about infinite optionality. So you go to Bank of Industry, they didn't give you money. You go to Nassau, they didn't give you money. Then what happens? You start crying. This country, it sounded like mosquito. Now the truth about it is that if you look at when God created man, he told him what? Subdue, conquer, replenish. Do you know? A lot of the words were militarized. There are things that show that you need to take control. Why is it that I don't believe there's I tell my children, I tell my wife, I don't know anything on earth that I can think of as an impossibility. If you register for my mentorship, some words I tell you to go and take out of a dictionary. Impossibility, excuse, I can't. All those kind of take them out. Have an infinite optionality. So that my boy went around, going around to do what? I remember him now. So let me see if I can get more phone. Going around to get everybody, even his governor, nobody
Dear
was
customer, the MTN number you have dialed is currently switched off.
okay. So now nobody was listening to him. I told him nobody will ever listen to you. Because what? Fufu, no matter how much you beg iron, or rather magnet, it cannot attract. And you say, like in America, I've been everywhere in the world though. So don't tell me like in America. If you want to go to America, we'll help you, you go. So why are you talking like in America? We in America. We are here. So if you've decided to be here, you're going to play what is here. You're going to play what is here. So what if you have an infinite optionality? Now you met me. You met this man. You met some other person. You think they are big people. You say, oh, I have a company that you can invest in. And say, when can I come talk to you about my company? You come and talk to me about your company. And when you finish, I find out that this company makes sense. I said, I'm bringing 3 million. I'm going to be a part owner of the company. And you think about it and said, oh, it's better to have 10% of 100 than 100% of nothing. I've had this idea for 20 years. Time is passing and I've not done so much. You talk to another person, you talk to 10 of us. 3 agreed. One is bringing 20 million, 3 million, 5 million. He wants to have 1%. Another person is bringing 1 million. He wants to have 50%. Another person, you look at those options and find out, oh, this is the best guy I can work with. But what happens to us? It is just, I go to this place, they don't agree. I go to this place, you come. I start sounding like glad. What I like now is money. I'm looking for money. Where will you find the money? How much are your father giving people? At your age, how much did you give people? And then you are finding money. No. I never looked for money. Why? I know there is no money anywhere. My father looked for money and looked for money. He was 80 something. He died. He never found it. So then I come out now and start looking. When Gowan took over, they clapped. My father them. When what's the guy that took over? Motala, they clapped and drank. When Obasanjo took over the first time, they clapped. Shagari took over, they clapped. And did their life change? And then, now I am saying 2023. How will 2023, how will this year be worse than last year? Are you not seeing it? They will make a fuel 362. It's just a matter of that. They cannot sustain it. They cannot. They are 98% of our revenue is used in what? In servicing debt. So they are borrowing more and borrowing more and borrowing. Before you know it now, 100% will not do, and they add. Yes, but go around everywhere. You see people building houses. They're not thieves. So the point being made is what? Is that you must have infinite optionality, meaning that for everything you come to, don't allow when you go to 1, you go to 2, and it didn't work. You do what? You throw your hands up and start crying. No, it must work. There is a way to the marketplace. The only thing is I've not found that way. I must find it. Oh, I must find it. If you read the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, it says that Thomas Edison did 10,000 experiments to find a permanent light in the filament. And when they told him, you've done this, and he said, no, no, you have not failed. I've just found 9,999 ways of not getting a permanent light, but I will get it. I'm not motivating you. Everything I'm telling you, I did to move from VODP, very ordinary disabled person, to VVIP, very, very important personality. I came from the backyard of life to the front yard of life through strategy and God's wisdom. That's what I teach you. So I'm not teaching you something. If you think you have excuse, I have like billion trailer loads of excuses to give. But you see, I don't give excuses. There's nothing in my head. Excuse, do you see? Something like excuse cannot enter my head again. The category for excuse, the compartment has closed, deleted, and gone. The compartment for impossibility. What's the point we are making? The point is very simple, that you must have infinite optionality. That doesn't mean you won't fail in this thing. So they say fail is what? Oh, yeah. So you can say, anytime you fail, you say, faithful attempt in learning. I was faithful attempting to learn. That's why I know a lot of what? Poor people who had never failed in anything. They have never failed what? But I don't know of a rich man who had not failed. Even our own Buhari, he failed how many times? 3 times and cried. The only problem now is that I don't know why he cried, because now he has it. I don't know, what he wanted to do that time that he's doing now. What's the point? Understanding infinite impossibility or rather optionality helps you with your hope. So the third thing we are going to talk about, the tools, is what I call knowledge. Why is knowledge important? Even the scripture 4:6, Hosea says what? My people perish for lack of knowledge. Yeah. Well, thanks, my prof, Emma. Thank you so much. Simon, thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, my guys. Now, I don't take it for granted. Being here for 3 hours is not easy. So thank you. So now let's start winding down by talking about knowledge. See, the only reason somebody is better than you in anything is what? Is knowledge. So, mommy, if I'm mentoring you now, one of the things I'm going to do is what? You create a humanitarian arm of your business where you do what? You train, you register it, where you train women, schoolgirls, you train, all those kinds of people. So it's easier for you to ask for grants. Yeah. But also, when you train these people, what happens? If you train 50 people, okay, those 50 people have become your mentees of sorts. They can buy product from you to go and sell. You can give them the product to go and sell in their communities. You can, somehow, yes, they can, become your distributors in their listing with 5,000, and all, over time, it start growing everywhere and all those kind of things. So, ability to understand that there's nothing impossible. It's just that our knowledge has not reached it. That is the only problem we have. I'll give you a simple example. We have a rice company. So because of our work with government, so we don't really, okay, how did we have the company? We had the company because we are working with Central Bank, NISAL, and all those. So I do KB States and all those. So we started the rice company. When Nigeria had the first lockdown, we know that we're going to have what we call recession. And when we started the rice company, we didn't feel like bothering ourselves. So we supplied to government people like ministries, departments, and agencies, because of course they are our friends. But when we decided now to sell, you know, we don't want to be selling normal so we had a thrift company where people can just pay 150 naira along the year, 150, 150 naira, 150 naira, which is nothing. And at the end of the year, they get 2 bags of rice. So if you have 3,000 people who are doing that, that's 3,000 bags already sold. But remember, it's also creative credit where the money comes before the bag of rice. Before the money comes even 1 year before the bag of rice. So what happens? They provided loan for you. You see, knowledge. Knowledge. So knowledge is at the heart of it. Immediately you understand knowledge, purpose becomes easier to implement. The next thing is the fourth one is skills. I'm going to rush. Yes. Yomi said, Otibe, thank you very much. Um, Yomi said, it's what we know that knowledge is knowing that give you age. That's what knowledge means. Knowledge is what? Knowing that gives you an edge. That's what Yomi, my friend, Yomi is my mentee, Yomi Adeniji said. Yomi, thank you very much for joining in and then thank you for all the contributions. Wonderful. Yeah. Now, Praise Jagade, thank you very much. Chidoze, thank you. Now, but the point we wanted to make is if you have knowledge and you don't have skills, what happens? You are going to have issues. So skills are the house. You may have a knowledge of
This is very like the resources.
wonderful.
You advertise the resources by knowledge, but you don't have the skill
To
convert it to
simple to your own, to something you can use, to usability. Wonderful. Wonderful. So your ability to have skills, and that's why don't neglect skills. Learn digital marketing, learn project management, learn how to speak in public, learn how to write proposals, learn how to write business plan, learn how to, animal husbandry, learn anything, learn how to market. There are things we call transferable skills. Transferable skills are those skills that you can apply along and across sectors. Marketing is a transferable skill, yes?
I want to share something with us
Yes.
about knowledge.
Yeah.
Somebody said, what can one do to strengthen his personal freedom? He said that by building your own education and skill, knowledge is a tangible asset. Quite often the most important tool in your work.
Wonderful.
Knowledge cannot be taken by anyone except by obsolescence.
Except by
Obsolescence.
yes, obsolescence, yes, when it has gone out of use. Wonderful. That's true. That's 100% true. It is yours forever. I told you earlier that I read an average of one book a day.
And he said, the more up to date the knowledge you possess,
Yeah.
that your mind will be free. You will not be enslaved.
Yes.
Once you have that knowledge.
100%. I agree. So your ability to understand knowledge and then go over to skill is very important. But you see, there's a problem. The problem is the third one. I've talked about knowledge, I've talked about skills, but now attitude is another tool. Attitude is not whether you respect people or not. Attitude is your perception of reality. Attitude is what? Your perception of reality. Now, when you remember to walk into the minister's office and discuss something with him, what happens to you? I don't have somebody here. That's stupid. That's a government office. You don't need to have anybody there. Go, let them chase you away. You have learned something. When you go to that place, you're going to find out that I was invited by UNESCO as a young person. I went to Paris and in France, and one of the things that happened there is that as I sat there looking, I told you I've been a best student all my life. As I sat there looking, I saw the people that I know. I don't need to be proud about it. I know I'm more intelligent than these people. And they are working in the United Nations building there in the UNESCO. And I was asking myself, why is it I'm not working here? Why? That was the beginning. Today I consult for United Nations. And that was the beginning of it. I said, if these people are working here, I saw people who are disabled. I saw people who are blind. I saw people, I said, no, not me. I work for these people. Attitude. When David saw Goliath, everybody was saying, what? The giant of God, the giant of God, the giant of God. Immediately he saw Goliath, he said, what? Who is this uncircumcised Philistine to defy the Lord's army? He never saw him as a giant. Everybody shut him up. Shut up, shut up, shut up. Even in your family, you like the do. You shut up, take it easy. What? To be great is to be misunderstood. To be great is what? Is to be misunderstood. Because now, I want you to write this in those online, those offline. Please write this down. The enemy of excellence is not mediocrity. Write it down. The enemy of excellence is not mediocrity. The enemy of excellence is conformity. To conform. The enemy of excellence, rather, the opposite. Sorry, I was mistaken it. The opposite of excellence is not mediocrity. Sorry, the opposite of excellence is not mediocrity. The opposite of excellence is conformity. You see, people, thanks, Yetunde. God bless. People will always do what? People will always conform. This is how it is done here. This is how we do it. There are things you want to do now. Your kids will tell you, cool down, mommy. What are you even going to do? Go there, this, Saturday, Zopanike, Nibo will say Zopanike. There's a meme. They'll say, cool down so that the prayer offered on your head can work. So they'll say, cool down. Okay, guys, they just took light here, so don't bother. They are restoring it in a minute. So now, your ability to understand that the opposite of excellence is not mediocrity but conformity. Now you kind see why probably a lot of things are not happening right. If you are in your comfort zone, nothing magical happens in comfort zone. Nothing, not today, not tomorrow, nothing. Nothing magical will ever happen in comfort zone. Everything that will happen in comfort zone are what? They are normal. I'm going to wind down in just a few minutes. But it's very important you know that there are 4 realms that you exist in. Number 1 is incompetence. Realms of existence. Number 1 is what? Incompetence. A lot of people don't stay at the realm of incompetence. A lot of people don't. They move on. So number 1 is incompetence. Number 2 is competence. I'm talking about realms of existence. 1 is what? Incompetence. 2 is what? Competence. 3 is what? Excellence. Yes, Prof. Thank you, Professor Emma. Thank you so much for writing that down. And number 4, okay, 3 is excellence. And number 4 is genius. You see, a lot of people don't stay at the level of what? Incompetence, because a lot of people stay there, but a lot of people don't. Yeah, because if you're incompetent in what you do, people won't buy from you. And so a lot of people stay at the realm of competence that they just know how to do it. But that's not good enough. That's why there are normal people everywhere. And then we have what? Excellent. The people who spend a little more time to invest in knowledge, they do what? They move over to excellence. But there's only a few that do what? That insist that genius is their calling. Very important. Okay? So if you've got this, I hope you understand why you are going to invite your friends here tomorrow, because tomorrow we're going to work on understanding how we're going to use some tools to work on how you can zero in into your personal calling and your personal purpose. Okay, so the next so I've talked about that. Let's talk about the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's talk about number 6 of the tools, and I round off immediately with the other one. Number 6 is what we call favor. I'm talking about the tools now. Favor. You see, those who are what, who are who don't understand purpose, they do what? They think that things happen by luck. This, my friend, the week she came into Abuja is the week she got a job here and got a good pay, and she's not even done her youth service because she saw some pattern in her family, in pattern with friends, and she said, no, I'm not going to be what? I don't want to finish job and I come and sit and waiting for job. No, he said no. She said no. She pushed through. What happens? Today, her future is 100% laid before her. She had understood something. She can make money now. She understood what she wants to do with her life. So it starts with what? It starts with being, can you put that off? This one, put it off, please. So let it not go. Put it off, please. Is it off? Okay, thank you. So now, you must understand that as somebody born on earth, you are what? You are favored of God. Now, please let me know. People will say, Esau, I hate, Jacob, I love. I love. Are you Esau? What did you do anything against God? If Esau has something to do with him, like, oh, those he will do good to, he will do. Those he will favor, he will favor. Did you do anything against God? Why must you always take the other parts of life? He wants you to suffer. Why would God want you to suffer? How many people give birth to children and they want them to suffer? Why? Then remember that whenever you see this product, what are you seeing here? Now, what does this label show? It shows that MTN have finished this product, tested it through quality assurance, and did what? And said, this product is finished, it's mine, ready to use. It doesn't have issue. And they put that their logo and send it out. We are the producer, we are proud. Our image is at stake here. That is how God imprinted on you. Remember earlier we said what? That genetically, no person is like you. Before you, nobody is like you genetically, and after you, nobody will ever be like you. God molded you, put his stamp upon you. Genesis 2 verse 7. He breathed into them, and man became a living soul. And then he sent you out here. And then he sent you out here to come and fail. Are you okay? Who is telling you that? That's not true. Always go into it. I send proposal anywhere, I talk to anywhere, governor, whoever. It doesn't occur to my head that I will fail or the proposal won't come out right. It doesn't occur. If it ever happens, that's a learning curve. What went wrong? And all those. Yeah. I work for MDAs, I work for presidents, I work for government, governors, local government. I work for everybody. There are more than 1,000 ministries, departments, and agencies in Nigeria. Do you tell me all of them are corrupt, all of them are wicked, you are the only good man on earth? No. If I go to this ministry, they don't want me. I go to this one. I get in that 1,000, and I will find the people that want to work with me.
So I tell you that people are afraid of failure.
They're afraid of failure.
When I try this, no one-
Yes, they will laugh at me. They will do this one. No.
Actually, in the schema, you posted something to my mail, and that was what I said. I was comfort. He said, "Do your faith,"
Do your fear.
and it hit me. And I said, "Do your," and of course, I was afraid of
Yeah.
so many things. You know. So when he said, "Do your fear," I took that step. There is a product I've been trying to develop that I know could help people, but I'm not. You know, I'm trying to. I want to spend money, use it myself, discover
Yeah.
many things. But the courage to go and look for those materials was my problem.
Yeah.
Then the second thing, I've not even done it. I'm afraid. Would anybody like it?
Would they buy? Would they like it?
Would they like it? So when you posted, do that, because I was not strong, I got up from the bed. I went, and I found out that what was making me to be afraid was so easy.
It was not there. So easy. You know, Shakespeare said, fear is a word. Doubt is a traitor, making us to lose what we oft might won by fearing to attempt. Yeah, false evidence appearing real. When you go to heaven, one of the things that you are going to see, and you tell them to send you to hellfire, is as you are dying, the person you would have become will meet the person you eventually became. And then you're going to see that you just messed up. Yes? So that's why you're going to try it. Now, from today, see it as what? A game. You see me more here. Life is a game for me. It's not serious. It's not serious. If I tell you I want you to be my friend, Afolabi, and you said I don't like you. Now, before I told you to be my friend, you were not my friend. Now I've told you to be my friend. You say you are not going to be my friend. I'm not your friend. So what did I lose? Did I lose anything? It was the same thing. So what was serious about it? You see more here. I'm unblackmailable. A lot of people are afraid. I'm unblackmailable. I say it everywhere. On tape, on radio, everywhere. And that was why, the first person that did this, my philosophy, was Salawa Abeni. Is it Salawa Abeni? Yeah, the musician. One little boy posted something to her where she was half naked and told her to give her money. She took it and posted on Instagram. That was about 2016. And posted it there. Said this little boy want to. I know this is me, but I can't even remember the time because this is my younger me, and I can't even remember. Either I was sick, I was with my lover. I can't remember how this happened. But this boy will say he want to this one. The police fetched that boy. I think he should be in prison now. You see, I say it every time since 2010. Everywhere I go, I say because I research and find out that why people are so afraid is that blackmail. Either you are blackmailing yourself, or your fear is blackmailing you, or it is serious. Or if I do something that requires life imprisonment today, you can't blackmail me. I will go and do my life imprisonment. Hello.
Hello, doctor. Good evening.
Good evening, Mark. Go ahead. You have a question?
Yes, I'm happy to join you on your program, and I have a question, and I've just been advised to call and ask.
Oh, thank you. Go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, please. My question is, a lot of people do not believe that the education we acquire from school, is capable of empowering us.
Yeah.
Like some people would say, last education has come.
Yes.
Or in Nigeria, education is not being, is for most people, it's not the criteria for success.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to such persons?
Okay. Thank you very much. My gift. God bless you. Thank you so much, man. Okay. She's asking a question, and she said, a lot of people believe that education is a scam, and our young people they don't think that they should go to school and all those. Now, I wouldn't join them in saying education is a scam, but I'm almost joining them in saying education is a scam. Yes, I'm a university academic. I'm a lecturer in the university. Yeah, what we do there is really rubbish. Why? Because The world is changing and we are not changing. The world is changing and we are not changing. Now, do you know, I was saying it earlier in our program, do you know that Google had abolished certificates for employment? Do you know? They don't need to be a graduate to work in Google again. So if you go online, you see Google programs everywhere. They're free. Just go take all those programs and you can program. You can do what do you call it? Project management. You finish it and then you go work at Google or anywhere else. Now the truth is, I was talking with my daughter just 2 days ago or yesterday. I told her that there is no day, as far as this life periods, that you say you have a PhD and it will not mean anything. But you see, the point is that you can have a PhD, and if you want to buy something for 500,000 naira, you do what? You say, do payment plan for me. And the guy who didn't go to school wants to buy something, you know, 20 million, he pays cash and goes away. Did you see the video? He was sitting at what? At his Dubai balcony at the hotel, and then he just tweeted, rather, yes, he said in his Instagram, "If you love me, send me money." This one, in 4 minutes, he got 7 million. In less than 24 hours, it got to close to 100. In 48 hours, it was 251, and all those kind of things. Yes? How much will a professor earn? Or how many years will he stay before he earns that amount? He will stay like 300 lifetime to come here and go and come and go. Now, are we saying professorship is not good? No. We're saying that you can be a professor and also be a Davido. What does that mean? You can activate your professorship by downloading the thing you know to something that people can use. Don't tell me about biotechnology when you can't tell me what I can use it for in my daily life. If a professor of biotechnology knows as much as I do, they will do what? They go to Transcorp and tell them, do you see these sheets they do in your toilet? I will do some converter for you and bore a hole on your you know sewage, and what? And then it will convert it into methane and back to, you go to Transcorp, you pay on the counter there, it's 13,800 to 14,000 for buffet. You do teas more than 6,000 in the, and then you have paid them, and you do what? You lodge in a room. Maybe it's a weekend, you are getting for 84,000. Yes, depending on the floor, and you are able to do all this thing, and you shit for them. Then they turn it into methane again. What a good business! But you see, the professor will go and tell them the biotechnological atmospheric nature of what you do has a dimension that has equilibrium. That when you convert it to, they won't understand you. It is not. They want to talk about money. They want to talk about naira and kobo. So that's the problem we have. So I was telling my daughter that yes, you are still a young person. So I will encourage you. She just finished school and she's here working in the company. She will turn 16 next week, and she's already managing men and resources. We can even travel for the next 300 years, and the company won't shake because she knows everything we do. But you see, I told her, you already know this is good. But you see, having a PhD is also good, because there's no place that they can say doctor or professor and it will equal the normal. But you see, when you have it and you don't have money, they say the anointing without money is annoyance. So it is also when you have too much title and you don't have money, it's stupid. You don't look like you're the thing that you are calling you doctor. You are coming out from a rickety car. You don't live in a good house. A problem everywhere and all that. It's not good. So that get this one and get this one. So that's what I advise the young people. And I don't advise you to finish school before you start. Be doing them pari passu. Time is not waiting for any person. Let nobody tell you, first of all, go and finish school. No, that time is gone. Yeah, between both at the same time. Okay, that's my.
Just you sent us a video.
Yes.
That actually.
Yes.
Expanded,
yes, all those. Yeah.
And it is the bitter truth.
The bitter truth. The bitter truth, and we have
the
to.
way the world is going is like
100%. 100%.
These certificates will come, but universities will still remain as a research center.
100%. So I'm going to stop here. At number 6. We still need to talk about 4 more tools. Then tomorrow we talk about the other one. So I want you to, if you have any question in the next 5-10 minutes, we're going to close them. If you have any question, you ask, and then otherwise you tell me what you've learned. I want you to call in that number, and then you're online, and tell me what you've gained today, so that we are able to um, we're able to round off. Okay, we still have some tools we need to discuss. We are number 6. We still do 7, 8, 9, and 10, and then we go over about 20-25 ways you can discover your purpose in life. That is tomorrow. But I want you to call and tell me what you've learned today. And those who are here in class, please just tell me what you have learned. Then do remember to share this with your friends. It's on it's on Facebook, is on my Facebook page, and my Facebook profile is also on YouTube, Dr. Kali Cousins or Kali Cousins. You can always share and reshare. Thank you. So, but quickly tell me what you've learned. I'm going to go through everybody here. Mommy, can we start with you? You're going to raise your voice a little more because of the people online. I want you to close the book because education is what remains when the school stops. Okay, okay, quickly, 1 or 2.
I just learned that you can only limit yourself.
You can only limit yourself.
You are not limited by anything.
You are not limited by any circumstance. It's just you that limit yourself. Welcome, ma. What's the name? Sorry, Florence. Florence Adeyemi. Okay. So what did you pick? Both an attempt to do things. Yes, the name.
My name is Benedicta.
Benedicta.
When your energy level is high, you will not forget.
100%. So everything you do, prop up your energy level. Anti-faith.
I actually learned more about the hope.
The
Hope.
hope. Okay.
Yes. Believing in your goals and all those things. Personally, I have issues with motivating myself.
Yeah.
At some point, every year I actually write what I want to achieve every year.
Yeah.
I motivate myself. I work towards it. But at some point, like I discovered that I'm better than my mates. So at some point,
You compare.
I just when I see I'm better to an extent,
Yeah.
I feel relaxed.
Mm.
Like I just feel subconsciously, I just discover that
You are not moving forward.
I'm lacking behind because of my thoughts.
Yeah.
But with the hope and motivation, self-motivation, I discovered I can do all.
Yeah. Great. Yes, Sunny, quickly.
I've learned so much. Purposely, one has to know the purpose why he's been alive. God created you for a purpose. And for you to have a certain hope, because hope is something that you build over time.
Yeah.
And what I learned in this conversation was spiritual consciousness.
Spiritual consciousness.
Because when you don't believe in yourself,
Yeah.
you have to believe in what you do. If you don't believe in what you do, definitely you are surrendering your faith to other people.
Yeah, 100%.
People will be twisting you from here. You have to believe in yourself. That they say, he who knows people has learned, but the wise one is the one that knows himself.
Yeah.
So you have to believe in yourself, what you can do. Nobody is better than you, and you are better than nobody.
You pursue your thing.
Yes, yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, glad.
Thank you very much for this.
So what do you do? What do you do?
I work in a pharmacy.
Okay, you work in a pharmacy. Please, sorry, what do you do, ma'am?
I have a boutique.
Okay, you have a boutique.
I'm a businesswoman.
Okay, you're a businesswoman. Okay. Okay. So go ahead, Glad. One minute, let me see if this person is. Hello?
Hello? Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Are you calling for the program?
Yes, I am.
Okay, go ahead. What's the name, sir?
My name is Apostle Engineer Chedezede Wiswaka.
Oh, engineer. How are you, sir?
Fine, sir.
Raise your voice a little. I don't know if it's from my distance. Raise your voice a little. I said, raise your voice a little.
Okay. I I'm calling. Yes, sir. I'm calling to contribute. Actually, I've learned a whole lot.
Yeah.
Because, each time I meet with you, it's a refreshing moment that I get a lot. Yes, sir. The journey with you started in 2018, and since then, it's been from one high to another. I just finished registering my second company, and we are working on the third one.
Wow,
So, actually, right now, we are running a group of companies.
wow, wow. Thank you so much, engineer. Please give my friend your wife for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, sorry, Agla, please, can you? Sorry about that.
Also learned that you cannot do one vision, many visions.
Yes.
And God
One vision with many missions.
many
Yes.
visions, yes. And God has given me some gifts.
Yes.
And the best thing I can do
To God.
is to give
That gift.
this gift to humanity.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes,
Prof.
my name is Afolabi.
Yes. It's my prof.
Retiring or about retiring and
Willing to retire.
willing to retire.
Civil servant.
Because, in fact, I'm not doing myself again since the last. I've still discovered that I have some more values to add.
Yes.
So, so far, I learned, I pick on your two things. One, the issue of family relations that you mentioned.
Yeah.
I just discovered that there are some people have been able to sit down and study this type of thing and find it working. So, and I discovered that I've applied it.
Yes.
And truly it's working.
100%.
I will just share it. My first son.
Yeah.
My first two.
Yeah.
So my first son, attended lab tech, and a course of 5 years. It was went for 7 years. So I begin to feel, as a normal.
Yeah, father.
Is not growing younger.
Yeah.
This guy is going to be the head of the family. So in fact, I have to walk him to Abuja to come and serve. Because I said, you need to learn my way of life.
Simple.
And to summarize it, what I discovered that he has keyed in, kept on even appreciating, he's now leading the other children.
Wonderful.
So then I learned again.
And it was intentional.
It was intentional.
It wasn't God coming from heaven.
Yes. I want to know him. I said, I want to know
Yes.
know you again.
From dormitory to university.
So come and be living with you.
Simple.
And then we are stick together in Abuja.
Wonderful.
To God be the glory. He's currently attending, I was shortlisted for this UBA executive training.
Wow. Wow.
So, but what I pick again today is the fact that readers are leaders.
100%.
Because the very few pages I've been able to read
of that book
that we sent to us,
yeah.
But I preach to them. Once I see anything, like I cut things, I cut and send to them. Ponder over this and tell me what you think. The fact that being rich is not a monopoly.
No.
And that nobody is created poor.
Simple.
So, and then if a section of a country or a town or city are created poor, why are we having them side by side? It means you are not doing something
simple.
So it's been a very wonderful.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So I read what is here online, and then we immediately get out. Jude, my friend, was my classmate. Jude said, "I learned never to limit my abilities going forward." Thank you, sir. Kenneth Powell said, "Education is limited to study. Effort is limitless possibilities to success." Thank you. Prince Jagade said, "I learned how to increase my energy level and be more productive with a simple breathing exercise." Wonderful. Please, I encourage you guys, do that breathing when you come tomorrow. Yeah, you tell me. Education is limited to, okay. And then Utibe said, okay, so let me take this, my friend. Oh, he's calling from US, so let's just take him as the final person. Yes.
Hello.
Yes, bro. How are you?
Hey, I'm good evening, Dr. Paul. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. Raise your voice a little, I think.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me, sir?
I'm hearing you.
Okay, yeah, good evening, sir. This is Emma Sawan. I'm calling from Maryland,
Yes, my
US.
prof. Thank you.
I want to say that I've been with you all day listening, and
What time is it
it's
in US
powerful,
now?
you know, it's powerful reconnecting with you and then hearing all the great insights you're throwing out there.
Thank you.
I have a few things that I feel that I mean, for me, people think that I have a purpose or that I have achieved or have arrived, but I know that it's not. I mean, and I need to continue to have that conversation with you behind the camera
Yeah.
so that you will put me through even your own level of expertise. One thing is this idea of comfort zone.
Yeah.
You know, when people think that, oh, I'm able to pay my bills, then I am good, and you can
No.
count up to 1,000 people, you feel you are better than, right?
Yes.
Then people settle down. No. And I tell my friends that if you don't have people you look up to, you have failed already.
If you don't have people you look up to,
You
you
are
have
not
failed already.
exactly.
Wonderful.
If you don't have people you look up to in life, you have failed already.
Wonderful.
You know, so I'm yeah, so that's very important. Number two, um, I some years ago, 2018, when I was at Imo State University in 2018 January for a reception that they held, and I told up to the about over 150 students that attended that reception in my
Yeah.
honor. I told them that I wasted 4 or 5 years here at the Department of English,
Can
and
you
they thought
believe
I
it?
was a joke, that I was joking. And my point, Dr. Carl Nichols, is this. Why is it that I spent 4 or 5 years as an undergraduate? All I did was go to class, take lectures, write exams, and then went back to my apartment at work layout. And sometimes we have one lecture in a day, and the lecturer is not coming, and we all resume home at the West Abu.
Or stay in the
Thinking
love
that,
garden.
how if what if I had learned how to even cut my own hair
Yeah.
so that I won't be spending $35 to go and give
One
someone
haircut.
in a salon to cut my hair? What if I have learned how to like any skill, sew clothes, anything? I mean, I had time in a wedding.
Yeah.
But that reality dawns on me when I have spent life in the US, pursuing graduate studies, working two different jobs, plus my intense and rigorous classes.
Doc,
Then it
Doc,
dawned on me
Doc,
that we were
Doc, do you know
wasting
what?
time in Nigeria
Do you
as
know
young
what?
people.
Doc, do you know what? Are you hearing me? I will,
Yes, I can.
yes, I will want you, I will give you time tomorrow if you are here tomorrow to talk about this because it will answer the question of my sister who was asking about school is a scam and all those. So, if you can be here, it's also
Okay.
4 to 7 tomorrow. So if you can be here tomorrow, you please you tell this story because we don't have much time now.
Four,
You tell us
okay,
this
okay, okay.
thing.
4 to 7 Nigerian time, right?
Yes, 4 to 7 Nigeria time. Yes.
Okay, yeah, so I would have been
Please,
back from
immediately you
US
come in,
already.
you beep me, just say, Dr. Kali, I'm here. So I'll give you opportunity to talk about this because this advice is very important. Yes, because you've been at Timothy University.
Okay, yeah, no problem. That's just one and the other things I would like to talk about later.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. God bless you.
God bless you.
Sure, it's been
Thank
a
you.
blessing.
Okay. So we're ending here. My friend Utibe, please, I need to read him because it's very important. What I have learned today, which is very impactful time, is that I would not conform as this is opposite of excellence. I should not stop at the level of competence because this level just made me a normal person. Rather, I should develop myself to become a genius. Number three, joy is a great substance for success and greatness. That's true. And the Bible said, with joy you draw from the wells of salvation. Is it true? Yes. So if you don't have joy, you can't draw because that's the rope you put in there. And James Gilbert said, lovely to have a good lifestyle. Think positive. Thank you, guys. God bless you. Tomorrow, let's be here. It's 4 to 7, just like we did today. Share with your friends. Go online there. Share with your friends. Thank you very much. I want to have selfie with each of you. So you come over here. We have selfie. So for those online, God bless you. Bye bye. Thank you, and remember, blessed. Please share with your friends. Yes.